finance, scope of financial management, and now one of the most important topics in this unit, what are the objectives of financial management? So here we have two objectives which are competing with each other, and uh, we find that one end we have profit maximization as an objective, which is something which is universally accepted, that a firm has to work towards the maximization of profits, because that is symbolic of how the firm is performing. So a firm which is increasing profits over a period of time is actually showing efficiency in its operations, and then for financing further projects, further investment decision of the firm, you need more and more profits. Again, how effectively you are utilizing the resources, and in the long run, it is profits which are most desirable for the firm, because not only uh, because of economic reasons, but also social welfare. जो CSR, corporate social responsibility है आज की डेट में firms की, that can also be met only when a firm is earning sufficient profits. So these were the benefits of having profit maximization as the prime objective of financial management. And I also told you and explained it to you that profit maximization is maximizing the earning per share of the investor, and EPS EPS is equal to the profit after tax, or even better term used here is earnings available to equity shareholders. Now, after calculating the profit after tax, there might be preferred shareholders in the firm. Now, I'll explain this concept to you. So, when I talk about funding, or when I talk about the capital structure of the firm, then we use two terms, equity and debt. Now, equity is basically for the equity shareholders. That is what we use in the practical usage. We say equity stands for equity shareholders, who are the true owners of the firm, and they have a right in the ownership of the firm, in the sense that the decision making authority lies with the equity shareholders. So जो भी voting rights होती हैं, जो भी meetings होती हैं कंपनी की, basically जो annual general meeting होती है, तो annual general meeting is AGM. AGM happens once a year, and in that meeting it is decided how much of profits should be distributed to equity shareholders, या फिर जो भी major critical decisions होते हैं, से न्यू इन्वेस्टमेंट स्ट्रैटेजी है, न्यू मार्केट एंटर करनी है, या एक नया प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च करना है, एक एग्जिस्टिंग प्रोडक्ट को वाइंड अप करना है मार्केट से, all such major decisions are taken in the annual general meeting, and there the voting rights lie with the equity shareholders. Now, under shares of the company, we also have another category, which is the preference shareholder. Now, there is a difference between equity shareholders, preference shareholders, but before that, I will also throw light on debt. Now, debt is borrowing that is made by the firm from the general public. तो कंपनी क्या करती है, कंपनी डिबेंचर्स इशू करती है, फिर 10% डिबेंचर्स of rupees 100 each. So this is a borrowing that is being made by the firm from the general public. It is raising money by issuing debentures. Say this is a 5-year debenture. So for 5 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, हर ईयर के एंड पे हर डिबेंचर होल्डर को इंटरेस्ट मिलेगा 10 रुपीज. And at the end of fifth year, with these with this interest of 10 rupees, the debenture holder will also get back the principal amount. So at the end of fifth year, the total amount that will be received will be 110. This is how debentures operate. जो debt पे return मिलता है डिबेंचर होल्डर को, उसको बोला जाता है इंटरेस्ट. So we earn interest on the debentures. Okay, or the firm is paying interest on the debentures. On equity, the shareholder is earning dividend, that is the firm is paying dividend. Now, how much dividend needs to be paid? For preference shareholders, it is fixed. फिक्स्ड इन द सेंस कि जब प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स भी इशू होते हैं तो ऐसे इशू होते हैं 15% प्रेफरेंस शेयर्स ऑफ ₹100. तो इसका मतलब हर प्रेफरेंस शेयर पे जो डिविडेंड मिलेगा प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर को, दैट विल बी ₹15. So it goes without saying that whatever be the profit of the firm, the preference shareholder each year will be getting ₹15 as dividend. Now you have seen for debt it is fixed, for preference shares it is fixed, for equity there is no fixation. इसका मतलब it is totally up to the company depending on what are the profits of the company. The company decides how much of the profit needs to be distributed as a dividend. So there is a possibility that in a particular year equity shareholder might get zero dividend, or there may be a year when equity shareholder is getting ₹15 as dividend, and there might also be a super year for the firm, and ₹30 per share is distributed as dividend. There is no fixed amount of dividend that needs to be paid to the equity shareholders. दैट इज वाई इक्विटी, जो आप स्टॉक मार्केट की बात करते हो, इट इज मोस्ट रिस्की, क्योंकि रिटर्न की कोई गारंटी नहीं होती. प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर्स को प्रेफरेंस मिलता है ओवर द इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स, not only at the time of distribution of dividend, but जब कंपनी वाइंड अप होती है तो भी पहले प्रेफरेंस शेयर होल्डर का पैसा वापस करा जाता है, एंड देन कम्स द टर्न ऑफ इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स. So let's revisit what we did last time. Earnings. So revenue, we did revenue minus sales. So this gave us the earnings before depreciation, interest and taxes. आपने depreciation minus करा, earnings before interest and taxes आपने interest minus करा. Fresh page. Okay, so after this, from the earnings before interest and taxes, we have reduced interest and we get the earnings before taxes of sorry, the profit before tax minus tax will give you profit after tax. Now, after we arrive at this value of profit after tax, if the firm has any preference shareholders, देखो जो डेट होल्डर्स थे उनको यहाँ पर पैसा मिल गया जब इंटरेस्ट फर्म ने डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करा, तो सबसे पहले किसका क्लेम सेटल हुआ है? डिबेंचर होल्डर्स का. After that, if there are any preference shares issued by the firm, the preference dividend is declared. So here, who has got the next claim? The preference shareholders. So preference shares are the next to be catered to. Now what remains is earnings available to equity shareholders. अब जो पैसा बचा है, अगर बचा है, देयर माइट बी केसेस कि यहाँ तक हमारी वैल्यू प्रॉफिट की 0 आ जाए, बट 100 भी हो सकती है, 200 भी हो सकती है. सो नाउ दीज आर अर्निंग्स अवेलेबल टू इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स and now the firm decides how much of this should be distributed as dividend and how much of this should be retained. So EPS is earnings available to equity shareholders divided by the number of equity shares. This gives you the earning per share. और इसको maximize करना is the objective of profit maximization. So a firm is trying to maximize the EPS, and this is defined as maximizing of profit. So till here, if something is not clear, you can ask. Otherwise, I'll move back to the slide. Clear? Yes, Tanvi?
Ma'am, in the previous slides, after 5 years, people will be getting total amount of 150 rupees.
No, no, 110. Okay, total amount you
Total.
mean the 5 times interest
Yes.
plus 100, yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Hmm. जो absolute value में terms है वो 150 है.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, yes, any other question? Okay, then let's move back. So now when you talk about favorable arguments or merits of concept, we also discuss the criticism of the concept, equally important. Why does this concept require an improvisation, or why is the second objective better than the objective of profit maximization? So let's move to the first reason for the same, which is ambiguity. So profit as a term does not enjoy a single definition. For some people, it is profit after tax. For some, profit maximization means maximizing the profit before tax. किसी के लिए शॉर्ट टर्म प्रॉफिट ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट होगा, किसी के लिए लॉन्ग टर्म प्रॉफिट ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट होगा. तो पर से कोई स्टैंडर्ड डेफिनेशन नहीं है ऑफ द टर्म प्रॉफिट. So that makes it a very unclear kind of concept, a very vague concept as to what exactly we mean by profit maximization. So there's no universally accepted definition of profit maximization. Second, and a very, very important drawback of profit maximization is timing of the benefits. Now, I'll explain this in detail. So let's take few examples and see how timing of benefits is actually a drawback when we talk about profits. So under timings, so let's start with the example we took of debt. तो डेट है डिबेंचर 5 ईयर के लिए इशू करा 1 2 3 4 5 5 ईयर्स के एंड पर जो इंटरेस्ट मिला है दैट इज ₹10 ईच ओके is the value of this ₹10 equal to the value of this ₹10 फर्स्ट ईयर में जो ₹10 की वैल्यू थी इज इट इक्वल टू द वैल्यू ऑफ ₹10 इन द फिफ्थ ईयर एट द एंड ऑफ फिफ्थ ईयर या फिर आज से 4 साल पहले जो ₹1000 की वैल्यू थी या 2000 की वैल्यू थी इज इट द सेम राइट नाउ
No,
नो I suppose all of us agree with this that the value is not the same. What is the reason behind this?
inflation.
Yes, inflation is the first and foremost reason behind this. कि ₹10 की जो रियल परचेजिंग पावर है वो फॉल हो जाएगी ओवर द इयर्स और फिफ्थ ईयर के एंड पे आप उतनी क्वांटिटी परचेज नहीं कर सकते इस ₹10 से जो फर्स्ट ईयर के एंड पे आप परचेज कर सकते हो सो ₹1 टुडे has a different value than ₹1 earned a year later. So ₹1 today has more value than ₹1 earned a year later. And this in finance is known as time value of money. Very important concept. We will be doing this concept theoretically and practically in this unit. Time value of money. So money has a time value attached to it. Today, tomorrow, day after, the value of money changes. Why does the concept come into being? Why is there a money time value attached to money? So yes, the foremost reason for this is inflation. With increase in inflation, the real purchase power of money falls and in absolute net terms अगर आप बात करो तो आप कम purchases कर पाते हो because of inflation. So first and foremost reason is inflation. Second is preference for present consumption. So say you have given me some money as a loan. So as a loan, you have given me 50,000 rupees, and I give you two options that I will return the loan after 1 month or I will return the loan after 1 year. What would you prefer? Getting back the loan after 1 month obviously would be the preference because future is uncertain. So future uncertainties give value to money. Everyone needs money for preference is always there for present consumption. Future is uncertain. Today, if God forbid I have some medical emergency, then that 50,000 makes sense to me today, not after 1 year. So, because of all these reasons, there is a value attached to money. So, profit as a concept ignores this. So, I'll try to explain this again using another example. Okay, so you are given a question where a firm has two options whether to purchase machine A or machine B. Let's take this as profit after tax that is given to you in the question. So both the machines have equal outflow of cash. मतलब दोनों की cost बिल्कुल same है. 60,000 rupees is the cost of both the machines. These are actually cash flows. Okay. And for both the machines, the life is 5 years. So जो economic life है, both machines will be operational for 5 years. They have an initial cost of 60,000 and then you are given the cash inflows or the returns you will be getting from both the machines. You have machine A, machine B in terms of profits or money that is coming back, cash inflow जितना हो रहा है firm को वो दोनों का same है 65,000 rupees. But as the decision maker in this regard, which machine would you prefer? Please type in the chat box which machine should be preferred by your firm, or it should be the same. Are you preferring A over B, B over A, or you are indifferent? Just give your response in the chat box. Just fast, plus. Okay, one. Yes, yes, more. I need more responses. Okay. What about the others? If no response, it means you are indifferent. And I'll come to you first to ask you for reasoning of the same. Okay, Sabya says B, machine B. Okay, what about others? No response. So then that means, okay, Vikas has given a response. Harshita, you don't have any response. Harshita, Kulina, it means you are indifferent. Yes? Is Harshita, unmute yourself. Are you even here, Harshita? Yes, so unmute yourself. Fast, I'm waiting. Your class is waiting for you. Your classmates are waiting fast. It will never work. Okay, so you will answer in the chat box. Are both the machines? It's raining here. Okay. So both of you tell me in the chat box which machine is more preferable of the two as per you. And by that time, Disha, you unmute yourself and answer. Disha, सबका ही इंटरनेट में कोई प्रॉब्लम है आज ही होनी थी सबके इंटरनेट में प्रॉब्लम ओके निशा निशा शर्मा यस why are you preferring machine A over B Nisha
Ma'am, because in the beginning months, more of the money is being used. So as we move further in time, there is more chance of inflation.
okay very good excellent so yes rightly said there and Sabhya you also tell me why do you feel machine B is better than machine A
Ma'am, I wrote this because its utility is increasing over time.
Okay, so okay, you have a reason there that its utility is increasing over time, but Sabya, utility machine की 5 years ही है, उसके beyond वो operate नहीं करेगी. So it is always
Okay.
better for the firm to recover as much money as early as possible, because yes, आगे इन्फ्लेशन होगी, और दूसरी चीज फ्यूचर अनसर्टेन है. जितना पैसा जितनी जल्दी रिकवर हो जाए, जैसे मैंने लोन का एग्जांपल दिया था, the same case applies here also. So the firm would be preferring machine A over machine B, because yes, you are able to recover a good amount in the initial years as compared to the later years. But if we talk from the perspective of profit maximization, दोनों ही machines का profit कितना है? 5,000 rupees. So profit maximization के concept से दोनों machines same हैं. But जो रियल केस है उस हिसाब से machine A is better than machine B, and this turns out to be one of the biggest drawbacks of profit maximization as a concept. Okay, moving back to the next problem with profit maximization. Third point you can see is quality of benefits. Now, what do we mean by quality of benefits is degree of certainty associated with which benefits can be expected. So again, I'll try and explain this concept with a practical example, and then this would make more sense to you. So let's take the same case. We have two alternative machines with us. So machine A and machine B. Again, the life of both the machines is the same, 5 years. 0 point of time पे ब्रैकेट में जो वैल्यू होती है दैट इज अ कैश आउटफ्लो, मतलब कॉस्ट जो है मशीन की, इट इज 50,000 rupees. So let us see how these machines are behaving with respect to their economic benefits. So okay, so you have again two machines competing with each other, both having an initial cost of 50,000. Over the years, both machines are giving you inflow, cash inflow of 60,000. Please check, I think the total is yes, 60,000 for both the machines. इसका मतलब प्रॉफिट टर्म्स में दोनों मशीन प्रॉफिट दे रही हैं ऑफ रुपीज 10,000, and in that sense they are equal. But which machine will you prefer? Use the chat box to give the answer. Okay, yes, yes, the rest of you. What about others? Yes. Okay, so yes, all of you prefer machine B over machine A. Vishal, why machine B? Yes, Vishal, why machine B?
Ma'am, because in the case of machine way, we are getting the consistent amount of money.
Absolutely right. So we are getting not the consistent amount of money, but we are getting a
Ma'am, but
consistent.
getting money consistently.
Yes,
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 sorry.
yeah. That's the right term to use there. That we are getting a consistent cash inflow into the business. There is a continuity of benefits to the firm, which is missing in machine A. So quality of benefits के terms में machine B is better than machine A, but obviously profit maximization as a concept treats both the machine as same, and this turns out to be a major drawback of the objective of profit maximization. Okay, apart from this, you have some small reasons to avoid profit maximization as an objective. It leads to exploitation of the consumers and workers. बहुत बारी firms overwork करवाती हैं अपने लेबर से या कंज्यूमर से overcharge करती हैं ताकि profit उनका maximize हो जाए. There might be corrupt trade practices by the firm, and profit maximization might lead to inequalities between the stakeholders. So basically, because of these reasons, we move to a better and improvised objective, which is wealth maximization. So this we'll be covering on Monday. I will stop here. If there are